Hey, computer science principals. Welcome to HTML Theater. This is your host, Mr. Hicks. Anyway, I just want to introduce the new unit since we're in separate places. What I'll be doing is posting lessons like normal. I'll post this one after this video and basically take you through some things and then assign a project. And then usually the next day I will post, probably some sample code or ways to do things. And the expectation is you turn in the project. So anyway, we're going to be encoding in HTML using repl.it. So the last week, I've asked you to look at Codecademy Introduction to HTML. So here's the link. And notice it takes you to HTML. I think the key lesson to really do is this HTML document standards, this second one. This is a great one to do. So if you see the project today and not really sure what to do, go through these 14 screens. I did it as a review this morning. I don't know, it took me probably less than an hour to follow their examples. So these 14 screens on the second set of lessons are basically what we're going to be using the next few projects. The introduction to HTML, they give you a website that you make. So they start you off with a good example, but the nuts and bolts are in this second lesson. Okay, so obviously Codecademy tells you what to do and gives you examples, and it's really good, but we want to start using repl.it. So if you go to repl.it like normal, and I'll do that in just a second, but I want to talk about this, these screenshots. Here's a link to repl.it, new repl.it. Now, in the previous unit, we always selected Python. So now we're going to select HTML, CSS, JS, and give it a title and say create. And I just want to point out, repl.it gives you this as a blank template. So notice they give you HTML page, index.html. This script.js is a JavaScript file, and style.css is a CSS style sheet. In a few weeks, we'll be covering style sheets. JavaScript is for a future course, or you can, Codecademy has an excellent JavaScript course. You can start looking at that, but we will discuss those later. We're going to focus on the HTML code for now. So if you start a new repl.it, you might end up deleting a lot of this stuff. And I made a cleaner template I'll show you in a second. But basically, I typed up, as I shared in class, HTML is the actual content of your web page and how you want to set up the different sections, that type of thing. And then a relatively new invention is a cascading style sheet. It used to be you'd have to design and style every web page on its own, and it created a lot of work because often on a website you have the pages that you want them to all look the same, like for branding to look nice, but it's kind of a pain to do one page at a time. A style sheet allows you to pick fonts, colors, menu bars, that type of thing, and apply it to all your pages. So we'll get a little intro to that coming up in the next unit. And then again, the JavaScript is the coding language like Python that's built into a web browser. Like right now I'm using Chrome. So anytime I use a form like on Amazon to type in my information and buy something, they've coded it with JavaScript so that it knows what to do when I want to order a new pair of shoes or something. Okay, so again, you'll see if you just choose new REPL, you're going to get these things, which is kind of messy at the beginning. All right, just a little bit of history I saw in the course. Here is the actual very first web page from December 20th, 1990, so 30 years ago. It was a big deal, which really revolutionized the world. But basically, a man named Tim Berners-Lee introduced something called the World Wide Web to the internet. And it basically allowed you to click on text and go to other pages, and then you can always go back. So anyway, that's what originally looked like. This is purely HTML with no styling. So the original web pages looked a lot like this, purely informational, but with the hypertext. Back in the day, if you wanted to find out more information, you had to get in the car and drive to the library. Now you can just click and go anywhere. Obviously, when products and stores and movies got a hold of the World Wide Web, it started getting fancier and fancier. Graphics, movies, pictures. So our modern web pages look so much nicer, but this is how it started. Okay. So unlike this REPL, let me go ahead and click on one. So see what normally has happened. You have an option to do a new REPL and choose HTML. And then I'm going to just call this test and create repl.it. Okay, here it comes. And notice I have those three components. Notice next to the JavaScript, I can click on the three dots and delete it. And then same with the style sheet. Now later we're going to leave the style sheet and actually add stuff to it. And then basically for your project, you could delete all that. As we found out in the Codecademy, these are basically what we need. So there you go. You can do a project like that. What I've done just to help you, whenever I post a project, I will post this link to the template, and it's actually at the top of each lesson in this unit. And up comes a starter code file. So you're welcome to use this. Notice it has the doc type. So basically this is saying to a web browser, hey, this is an HTML document using the latest HTML. So when you display this page, use all the standard techniques. Right now we're in HTML5. And then these are the different tags which are described in the Codecademy lesson. So we're going to use these and add more, especially to our body. Oh, by the way, this, when you run it, over here on the far left is your file list. Right now we'll have a single web page, but later we're going to have a multi-web page website with many pages. Here's your HTML code. And over here is your web browser. So when I run this, notice I just put one paragraph and it says my HTML project in plain text. What's really cool about this, on the far right, this open a new tab. If you click on that, it will open up your web page in a web browser. And this URL right here, you can copy and send this to anyone in the world. This page is actually live on the internet. The first couple of years we coded this, we saved our web pages to our local computer, and we could view them on our own computer, but we couldn't like send them or share them. Here, repl.it allows you to have like a real web page. While I'm here, the title tag up in the heading, notice it says text and browser tab. Up here in the browser tab, see all these different tabs open, that's the text that's actually displayed. So that's a handy little thing. So like this World Wide Web project, that's what they have in the title tag. Okay, so basically you're going to be adding lots of tags to the body tag. That's basically the code that's going to show up on the web browser screen. So this screen over here is like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, in my case, Google Chrome. Okay, for your to do this first project, there's some resources. I put a direct link to that second Codecademy lesson. So again, these 14 screens, if you haven't had a chance to do them, it will this project will make a lot more sense and we can build on it. What I did is I went through the 14 screens. I took some screenshots and pasted them in this document. So basically the instructions are here. So if you want a review of what any of these tags mean or what they do, here's some good information. So I'll refer to those throughout the course. And then a new thing Codecademy is doing is making a cheat sheet, which is really handy. They kind of discuss all the different things that were in the lesson. So again, a great resource for review or looking something up. W3 Schools is probably one of the most useful sites ever. They have Python information too, but all these things about HTML. So if you want to do some basic HTML, eventually we'll put in a table, paragraphs, headings, etc. So this is a great site to look at. So there's heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in our project, we're going to use headings 1 and 2. And here's what the code looks like down here at the bottom. So anyway, great site that you can use as a resource. All right. So basically, folks, for our first project, you're going to go to repl.it, and you can use my template. So make sure you fork it and then rename it Project 7.01, my first web page. Now, the content of this page can be anything. So you can do it on a sports team, you can do it on a movie, or just random text information. The main thing is trying out these different tags. So the tags I want you to use are the doc type, which is required. HTML surrounds your whole HTML text. And notice most of these have an opening and a closing tag, which frame them. So looking at the HTML tag, notice at the very top is my HTML and the bottom is the closing tag. Here's my body. Opening body tag, closing body tag. Notice it's a /, which is right by the space bar in the same key as the question mark if you don't hit shift. Okay, so head, title, body. Okay, here's the optional ones that I want you to put. Heading 1, which is the large heading. Heading 2, which is the second largest. So looking at example, something like this and this, heading 1 stands out a lot, heading 2 a little bit less. And in Codecademy, they get some good examples. Paragraph. You can copy and paste some paragraphs from Wikipedia or something, but it shows some text in your page. Line break is like hitting enter on or return on the keyboard where it drops it down a few lines. Strong and M is for bold, and M means emphasized, italics. I want you to try putting an image on your page using the image tag, and then make a hyperlink using the anchor tag. They use A for anchor. So like for instance, I put an anchor here. I can click on the word hyperlink and it takes me to W3 Schools. And then you can have an image on your page and surround it with anchor tag. See the open anchor tag and close. And then that way, when people click on an image, you go off to somewhere else. So like that, I clicked on that HTML graphic down below. So anyway, this is the first project. Open the repl.it template, fork it, rename it, and try adding some of these tags. Again, for this Codecademy course up here at the top, if you're not sure what to do with these different tags, I would go through these screens and investigate. All right, everyone. Well, give Project 7.01 a try. Send me a message on Remind. Let me know if you saw this video, or you can email me. I'd love to get your feedback since I don't see you. All right. I hope everyone's well. Take care.